Joe Motion Videos 82 here. It is time for another G.I. Joe toy review. Today we'll be looking at a toy from my childhood, one that I had a brief experience with. That is the 1985 Silver Mirage motorcycle. It hit the shelves in '85 and remained there until 1987 when it was discontinued. It did make its first comic book appearance in issue number 44. Let me go ahead and pull that up for you. Now that issue has shown up a few times in my show, completely by coincidence. It's one of my favorite issues, actually. I just love the artwork on the cover of it. And that's also where Dr. Mindbender was starting to get integrated into the G.I. Joe mythos. He was Dr. Brainwave in that issue, but later on appeared as Dr. Mindbender, so it was right at the cusp of another change in characters in G.I. Joe. So, this vehicle, excuse me, I'm nursing a cold, came with a variant. The sidecar has some ridges on the flat post that attaches. I don't have that variant to show you, and I didn't see any pictures of it on yojo.com. Its original retail price was $3.29. Now this motorcycle, outside of being absolutely amazing to look at, it was also a design flop in my eyes. And with a few other collectors that I know, it was a very fragile motorcycle, making it harder to find on the aftermarket. Complete. I think G.I. Joe or Hasbro was going after the idea of a model, building it from like a model kit, like a model airplane. It just did not work. There were a lot of pieces. There were very small pieces. And I was with John the day that he bought this, and we came home and we were starting to put it together, and it was frustrating. He was a very smart kid, but it was frustrating because there were so many small pieces. And after a day or so of pretty rough play, I remember the sidecar breaking. Fortunately, I didn't break it. I wouldn't have heard the end of it. But he just went out and bought another one. But yeah, it's a very thin plastic, made of very thin plastic. It's just a frustrating piece to collect, for me anyway. So I have to keep it up high, keep the cat from jumping on the shelf, so it's up high off the floor. But other than that, it's a very nice vehicle to look at. It's pretty cool, actually. I enjoy having it as a part of my collection. And when we take a look at it, I will point out the points of fracture on this thing, where the pieces easily break off, what pieces are easily lost, which is, I would say, a good 40% of the motorcycle. I did get one of these in a box of parts. I did complete most of the motorcycle in that box, but it was not easy to find the parts at a inexpensively at the time, which surprises me. The prices have come down on this considerably since the first time I looked. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at this motorcycle. Right, so here it is, the silver Mirage. It is really cool. I wish they would have stuck with a more solid design like they did with the Ram, but it was a new era in G.I. Joe. So they wanted to try different things, and I don't blame them. So first and foremost, came with this piece right here that is known as a body fairing. It fits right onto the action figure's back. We use this as a bulletproof shield. I'm not sure if that was the intent for it, but it has air intake right here to cut down on wind resistance. It also looks like the gas tank of a motorcycle. Pretty cool piece. We didn't use it all that much. Let me go ahead and gently pull this apart. Set the motorcycle aside here, put the kickstand down. So you can see the sidecar is broken off right here. I'm assuming that's what the ridges are. I just now noticed that. See these two bumps right here. I think that was later added on. It would make sense to add that on to make it a little more solid. It also breaks off at this stump. But the sidecar comes with this mounted on gun that easily removes. Pretty cool feature. It's made out of a very soft plastic. Has two hand holds right here. A lot of detail on this neat little piece. Pretty cool gun. The seat is rubberized. Let's get a better look at it. It is padded in there. It comes with these rubber tires that mount over the rim, and this peg holds the wheel into place. Has these very small missiles that mount on the front. This does not lack in arms, I'll tell you. These are simple green missiles made out of the same plastic that slot right onto these pegs. So, real simple piece. Front windshield here, you can see it's very loose. These are often missing, as well as the plastic headlights. These are often missing as well. And on the inside here it has the, if you could read that, it's barely legible. It has the Hasbro stamp. Reads Hasbro, Bradley, Pawtucket, Rhode Island. And that piece just frictions right in. You could fit a figure in there, obviously. This holds up to 3 action figures, 2 on the motorcycle itself and 1 in the sidecar. I didn't bother putting the third missile or the other missile on the back here because it is the same. It keeps on falling off. But it came with 2 more of these very small missiles. And they slot right into the back holders here. This seat too is made of rubberized parts. This back part right here that holds the rear wheel on, that breaks off real easy. You can see where the stress point would be right about here. Big design flaw. It should have had 2 of those holding it into place. The same rubber wheel, the same peg. The front here has an independently moving wheel. The fracture points on these are right about in here as well. Good detail on this though. I mean, you can see the whole brake assembly on there. some shocks. I mean, it's a very nicely designed, but flawed in delivery. It's a delicate toy to be made for a child for rough play. You know a kid's going to be taking this outside and beating the heck out of it. So here is the motor that mounts right into the frame. These handlebars right here, at least it had handlebars this time. That was one feature we really liked. These break off at the insertion point. Double gripped handlebars, those are pretty cool. Again, the windshield comes up missing, and the headlight of the rear exhaust. I like the little sticker that says hot exhaust on there. The kickstand breaks off right about in here too. So there is a lot that can happen with this motorcycle to cause it to fail on you. It's a shame because it is really cool. I do like this quite a bit. I have very fond memories of it, but it has so many flaws to it. Most of the fun came in putting it together. So I do recommend that you get this as an adult collector. If you want to get it for your kids, make sure that they're a little bit older. Just my opinion. And if you do, just make sure that they take care of it. Because these things are so frail, especially with age. I mean, just look at how beautiful it is. I mean, it's designed after the sport bikes that were just coming out at that time. The Katana, the Ninja, the Hurricane, the sport bikes of the 80s. And I can see why it's a great design, a great model for it. I do apologize. This is going to be a short review today. Do I recommend that you get one of these? Certainly. It is a part of G.I. Joe history, and see, just holding it, it's coming apart in my hand. Yeah, it's a part of G.I. Joe history. Your collection obviously isn't complete without it. But please be careful with this. There are so many areas of weakness on this, what I call fracture points, especially the back wheel. This is one thing you don't want to play with rough outside. And you know, like I said, John and I had it John had it. John and I played with it for one day and it was broken. So it's something you need to be careful with, especially now with the degradation in the plastic. It would be a shame to have it survive all these years for it to break on you. I would feel terrible if I bought it in decent shape and then I break it. Definitely go out and buy one. Is it a favorite toy? No. It is way down on my list of favorites. I bought it because I was completing 85 and I needed it to complete that part of 85. I still need the bunker to complete that line, but this is not one of my favorites. Yeah, it's great eye candy, but other than that, I would not play with this. there's just too much to it that could break. So let's go ahead and get into my favorite segment, Byron's gripes. Alright, so if you're looking for this on the aftermarket, finding it complete and in one piece is somewhat of a challenge. There are a few of them out there. Most of it are just parts, and that's what this thing is being sold for, is a parts bike. Buy it for the pieces to complete one that doesn't have broken axle or broken forks and whatnot on it. So the sidecar complete with all the missiles and windshield, all of that complete, $19.99. An incomplete silver Mirage runs you anywhere between $20 and $49. $49 is still on the high end of this thing. That's what they were going for when I was checking the prices a couple years back. $49 to start. Complete with the blueprints, $49. Okay, I would personally, I wouldn't pay that for this, even with the blueprints, but that's just me. That is pretty expensive, but it's supply and demand, so that economic theory does come into play with this. So $49 is reasonable according to that, but I still wouldn't pay $49 for it. Complete with the box, $95 to $99. That's pretty high in my opinion, but again, supply and demand, and you're getting a box with it, and it's kind of cool to have the boxes. So let me pull, speaking of boxes, I neglected to pull up a box art, so let's go ahead and do that. So on the box, you can see it has Duke and Bazooka on the front, on the motorcycle, and Mutt in the sidecar. Who did you guys have displayed on this, or who did you use to ride on this motorcycle? Let me know down in the comments. John and I used Lady J and Flint. Lady J usually drove it, and Flint was in the sidecar. So let us know what you did with that. What characters you played with this motorcycle. Okay, so getting back into the segment, the sidecar with the gun, it doesn't have the windshield or the headlight, $2.50. Sidecar with gun, sidecar gun, just the gun with the missiles, $19. No way. Guy is being very greedy. The small missiles that attach to the back of the motorcycle, $1.99 to $2. That's about average for those per missile. The windshield, $1.99. The body fairing, which attaches to the action figure, $1.99. The larger missiles, $1.99 to $2. The wheels, $2.99 each. The peg, $2.99. Didn't find the steering yoke, the little handles, or the kickstand. The motor, $4.99. The frame with the motor, $7.99. So this came in multiple pieces. I see the idea that they were going for. I mean, model building was very popular from the 70s into the 80s with my friends and I. My brother built a lot of them, and I started building them back in the 80s as well. So that's the idea that they were going for here. Nothing concrete on that, but all the evidence points in that direction to put it together like a model. It was all snap tight, but it was just a flawed design. if they would have used a different plastic or already had it pre-assembled, made out of that harder plastic like they did with the Ram, yeah, I think they would have had a winner there, but they were going for something different, and I don't blame them at all. It's a great looking bike, but all the easily to lose parts and just the fragility of it just shoots the whole thing down for me. It sucks. This fly has been bugging me all day. It sucks for that aspect. I think this is the first time I've really said anything terribly negative about something, but it's time for me to review something to say that about. Other than that, the aesthetics, you know, it's beautiful. It displays well, and for a collector who isn't going to play rough with it, yeah, it's definitely the piece to have. You need it to complete your collection anyway, but that is something that you want just to display. It's just too much going wrong for it, and I'm not the only collector to say that, and it's a shame, really. This is something that could have been really cool to have and be able to play with it and enjoy it without breaking it. So there you have it, guys. There's my review. Now I'm going to take some NyQuil and relax. Hopefully get over this cold. So you guys stay safe out there. Remember, wash your hands 30 seconds. Wear a mask if you're out in public. Stay 6 feet apart. So we'll talk to you later. We'll see you next week for another G.I. Joe toy review. Please like, share, and subscribe. Definitely leave a comment. I do answer back with those. I did run into a problem where I got bombarded the other day with comments that people had left, and from a year ago that I didn't ever see. So I do apologize for definitely being tardy on those, but one day my email was just full of these comments, and I was thinking, wait a second, this was a year old. So there was some glitch somewhere. So that was quite interesting. So if I was late answering a comment, that's probably it. So hey guys, we'll see you next week. Stay tuned for another G.I. Joe toy review, and always be kind to one another, especially be kind to animals. They know nothing but unconditional love. This is Joe Motion Videos 82 signing off. Talk to you later. Bye bye.